You know what's crazy? Watching your cousin walk down the aisle in a wedding dress. Wearing your name. Not like your name. Your actual legal name. On every document. On every credit card. On every part of the dream life she built. With your identity. She thought she won. Thought I'd never catch her. Never fight back. Never show up. But the thing about stealing from family, especially me, is that I don't show up to fight. I show up to end it. Quietly. Legally. And perfectly. I wasn't sitting in the pews as a guest. I wasn't standing at the back crying. I was standing near the exit, next to two uniformed police officers. Waiting. Watching. Timing it down to the second. Because the moment they asked, "Does anyone object?" Guess what? I did. I stepped forward, held up my proof, and watched the entire room freeze. Her new husband's face, her parents, her friends, all staring at me like a ghost. But I wasn't a ghost. I was the real me, the only me. And my cousin, the fake bride, was about to walk out of this wedding, straight into handcuffs, because she stole my identity to build her fantasy life. And I stole her freedom to end it. My name's Danielle. Average in the best way. Solid job working in healthcare admin. Decent little apartment. Good credit score I built from scratch. Nothing flashy, but everything I had, I earned it. Every dollar. Every opportunity. Every piece of peace. Because I wasn't born lucky. I was born careful. Strategic. Responsible. Maybe that's why Taylor, my cousin, always thought I was easy to steal from. Because people like her, they mistake quiet for weak. Mistake humble for stupid. Big mistake. Huge. Taylor and I grew up like sisters. Family BBQs. Grandma's house every summer. Sharing secrets late at night under blankets. She was the loud one. The fun one. The effortlessly cool one who got away with everything. And me. I was the good one. The helper. The one people vented to but never envied. Until I found out Taylor envied me more than anyone. Not for my clothes. Not for my friends. Not even for my life. She envied my name. My credit. My stability. Things I didn't even realize she was watching. Studying. Plotting to steal. It started small. A fraud alert here. A weird charge there. But the deeper I looked, the uglier it got. Credit cards. Loans. Car lease. Even an apartment. All in my name. All using my information. All tied back to one person. Taylor. My blood. My family. My thief. And when I found out she was about to have the wedding of her dreams, paid for in part with money from the identity she stole, that's when I knew. This wasn't about calling her out. This wasn't about a confrontation. This was about ending her carefully crafted fantasy life. Right at the altar. Publicly. Legally. And perfectly. It's wild looking back now. Thinking about how peaceful my life was before Taylor stole it right out from under me. Simple. Quiet. Mine. And that was enough. I worked hard for what I had. I wasn't rich. But I was stable. Had my little routines. Meal prepped on Sundays. Budgeted every paycheck down to the penny. Used my tax refund for smart stuff. Paying down debt, boosting my savings, little weekend getaways. Not Instagram-worthy flexes. Not designer bags. Just normal. Just safe. Taylor always joked that I was boring. Girl, you save money like an 80-year-old grandma. Live a little, swipe the card. But me? I liked knowing my bills were paid. That my credit was solid. That if I wanted to treat myself, I could, because I planned for it. Meanwhile, Taylor's life? A walking disaster. Flashy on the outside, broke underneath. Always in some new situationship. Always in somebody else's drama. Always between jobs, but somehow always posting from brunch with a mimosa in hand. She loved to tease me about my quiet life. Must be nice not to worry about anything. Funny. Turns out she was worrying about plenty. How to take what I had, without doing the work. Without building it herself. And I'll be real with you. I never saw it coming. This was family. The same girl who stood beside me at every family reunion. Who called me first when she broke up with her loser ex. Who cried in my lap when her mom got sick. We were cousins. We were supposed to be safe. Protected. But while I was working late nights and eating frozen burritos to save for a rainy day, Taylor was studying my life like a blueprint. Planning every move like I was her next hustle. And by the time I realized what she'd done, it was too late. My name? Compromised. My credit? Hijacked. My peace? Gone. But what Taylor forgot was that everything she stole came with a paper trail. And me, I'm real good at following trails. Especially when they lead straight to someone's wedding. The first red flag? It didn't scream. It whispered. Soft. Subtle. Like the beginning of an itch you can't scratch. It started with a letter. One of those bland, boring pieces of mail you almost throw away without reading. Except this one had my name on it. Danielle Morris. My exact spelling. But it wasn't from any bank I used. It was a pre-approval for a luxury credit card. Congratulations, it said. You've been pre-qualified for an exclusive rewards membership. Weird. I never applied for that. I didn't even live in the city it was mailed from. That was flag number 1. Flag number 2. A random call from a car dealership. Hi, this is just a courtesy call confirming your upcoming lease payment. Lease? I didn't have a lease. I drove a 10-year-old Honda I paid off in full. When I told them they had the wrong person, the guy double-checked the account. Danielle Morris. Last 4 of your social is XXXX? My stomach dropped. Dead silence. That was me. But it wasn't my car. Not my life. Not my problem. Except now. It was. Flag number 3? A weird email from an apartment complex in a city I hadn't even visited. Thank you for your application, Danielle. We just need your most recent pay stub to finalize the rental. Pay stub. Rentals. Luxury apartments. Under my name. Somewhere I'd never set foot. I froze. Completely still. And that's when the pieces started snapping together. Not slowly. Fast. Aggressive. Terrifying. This wasn't some random scammer from halfway across the world. This was someone who knew me. Had my info. Had access. And when I checked my credit report that night, it felt like drowning. 4 new credit cards. A car lease. A whole apartment rental. In someone else's city. Under my name. And the longer I stared at the charges, the travel, the purchases, the timeline, the clearer it became. This wasn't just identity theft. This was Taylor. My cousin. My blood. My thief. And I was about to flip her little fantasy world upside down. Quietly. Legally. And with maximum precision. Once I saw my credit report, there was no going back. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't an error. This was a blueprint. Taylor hadn't just dipped her toe into my life. She cannonballed into it. Built a whole fake existence on top of my name. And honestly, she was bold. Sloppy. Arrogant. Like she never expected me to look. Never thought I'd fight. Big mistake. I started pulling every record I could get my hands on. Bank alerts. Credit inquiries. Rental agreements. Any trace of her activity tied to me. And every document told me the same story. Taylor had been busy. Really busy. Luxury apartment in downtown Chicago. Range Rover lease. A credit card swiped at all her favorite little spots. High-end brunches, designer stores, weekend spa trips. Living like a reality TV star. On my credit. With my name. And then I saw the worst thing. A bridal registry. Wedding dress appointments. Venue deposits. A full-on wedding planned. Funded, in part, with accounts opened in my name. Taylor wasn't just stealing from me. She was building her dream wedding on the back of my identity. Her happily ever after? Sponsored by me. That's when the hurt left. That's when the anger burned off. And all that was left. Silence. Focus. Clarity. Because you know what Taylor forgot? She forgot I'm patient. I'm smart. And I document everything. I wasn't going to confront her at a family barbecue. Wasn't going to call her crying. Wasn't going to curse her out over text. That's loud revenge. Messy revenge. Me. I play long game. Quiet game. Legal game. So while she was planning her big day, I was building my case. Filing police reports. Talking to a lawyer. Setting everything up behind the scenes. And when her wedding day finally arrived, oh, she was going to have her moment. Walking down the aisle. Smiling like the world was perfect. Right before it collapsed beneath her feet. Because the thing about stealing someone's identity? You better hope they don't take theirs back. Publicly. Permanently. And with an audience. You know what made this worse? Taylor didn't act alone. Oh no. Snakes travel in packs. Fake friends always attract other fake friends. And Taylor? She was surrounded by them. Girls who cheered her on. Enabled her. Helped her keep the lie going. People I knew. People I'd grown up with. People who smiled in my face at family events. While knowing full well she was out here living as me. It started when I went full investigator mode and scrolled through Taylor's social media. Old photos I'd been tagged in? Deleted. New photos? Glowing. Flawless. Fake. Her new life was spotless. Luxury bags. Girls' trips. Spa days. Wedding prep posts like her life was funded by manifestation and good vibes. Nope. Funded by fraud. My good credit. my stolen identity. And then I saw them. Mutual friends commenting under her posts. Yes, queen, get it. Manifested this life. You deserve everything. Funny. Deserve? With my social security number? Hard to feel cute when you're essentially a character in somebody else's scam story. But the worst was seeing one name pop up again and again. Brittany. Our mutual cousin. Family. Someone I'd trusted. Turns out, Brittany wasn't clueless. She'd been helping Taylor look legit. Letting her use her address for mail. Signing off on fake employment letters for rental applications. Covering for her when little things didn't add up. That stung. Not because I needed Brittany's loyalty, but because watching people enable betrayal is almost worse than the betrayal itself. That's when it hit me. Taylor wasn't just stealing from me. She was building a whole fake empire, with helpers, with cover stories, with enablers. But there's one thing all scammers forget. Paper trails don't lie. Receipts don't fade. And bank statements? Bank statements are forever. She didn't know it yet, but every person who played a part in this was about to watch her fall. Hard. Publicly. Legally. Embarrassingly. And me. I wasn't going to throw a single punch. I wasn't going to raise my voice. I was just going to show up. With proof. And a front row seat to the end of her fantasy. Everybody has a breaking point. Mine came in the form of a wedding invitation. Hand-delivered. Addressed to Danielle Morris. The irony nearly made me laugh. Taylor was bold. Not only did she steal my identity, she was about to walk down the aisle under my name, in front of our entire family. Like I didn't exist. Like I wouldn't notice. Like I wouldn't fight. Big mistake. Huge. Because that wasn't just identity theft anymore. That was war. But not the messy, dramatic war Taylor was used to. No screaming. No social media rants. No family group chat explosions. Nah, that wasn't my style. If Taylor wanted to play this publicly, perfect. Because I was about to end her story with an audience. Step 1. Lawyer up. My attorney nearly fell out of her chair when she saw the case file I'd built. Full identity theft. Wire fraud. Credit card fraud. Rental fraud. The list was impressive. And criminal. Step 2. Police report filed. Official. Documented. Quiet. Step 3. Coordinate with the local police near her wedding venue. That part. Chef's kiss. Turns out, wedding venues really hate when their events turn into crime scenes. But the police? Oh, they were more than happy to help once they saw my file. Especially since Taylor had signed contracts, rental agreements, and her marriage license. All under stolen identity information. My information. Step 4? Wait. Wait for her to smile her fake little princess smile. Wait for her to walk down that aisle, thinking she won. Thinking nobody was coming for her. Thinking I was still sitting at home, powerless. What she didn't know. I wasn't sitting at home. I was standing near the exit. Flanked by 2 officers. Holding my file of evidence. Ready. Calm. Focused. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't loud. It's legal. It's silent. It's watching someone walk straight into their own downfall. While you stand back and watch it all burn. There's a special kind of peace that hits when you know you've won. When you've done the work. Collected the proof. Built the case. And all you have to do is wait. That was me. Standing outside that wedding venue. Calm. Cool. Patient. Taylor had no idea. No clue that while she was sipping mimosas in her bridal suite, taking selfies and basking in fake compliments, I was 20 feet away, holding the receipt folder that would ruin her entire life. Legally. Permanently. Without me raising my voice once. The officer next to me looked at my file like he'd seen 1,000 cases. But none this personal. You ready? He asked. I didn't even hesitate. Absolutely. See, Taylor wasn't scared of me. Why would she be? I was the good cousin. The quiet one. The boring one. The safe one. The one who saved money instead of spending it. The one she never thought would fight back. She didn't realize that quiet people? We don't explode. We execute. As I stood there, I could hear the wedding music start. Soft. Romantic. Fake. The wedding coordinator was lining people up. Guests were laughing, taking their seats, completely unaware of what was about to happen. Completely unaware that this fairy tale was built on stolen credit and lies. On my name. My life. And now, that perfect little world she built was seconds from collapsing. Funny thing is, I wasn't even angry anymore. The rage had burned off weeks ago. All that was left was focus. And maybe deep down, satisfaction. Because this wasn't petty revenge. This wasn't for show. This was justice. Clean, quiet, and irreversible. She thought she won. She thought I'd stay silent. She thought this was her big day. But the thing about stealing someone's life? Eventually, they come back for it. And when they do, it's not loud. It's not messy. It's just final. The music swelled. Taylor's moment had arrived. All eyes were on her. She walked down the aisle like a queen, fake, smiling, absolutely dripping in confidence. Completely clueless. Her hair was perfect. Her dress was stunning. Her guests were beaming. This was her big win. Her perfect day. But me? I was standing quietly in the back. Not as a guest. Not as family. As the real Danielle Morris. The real name she stole. And standing next to me? 2 police officers, waiting for my signal. The minister did his whole little speech. People sniffled. Taylor pretended to get emotional, dabbing at the corners of her eyes like she was starring in some romantic movie. Pathetic. Then it came. The moment I'd been waiting for. If anyone here has reason why these two should not be joined in holy matrimony. Pause. Silence. Everyone in the room smiling, assuming nothing would happen. And that's when I stepped forward, heels clicking against the floor like a countdown clock. Heads turned, confused whispers, gasps. Taylor's face twisted in slow motion from happy to confused to absolutely terrified. I do. That's all I said. Simple. Calm. Final. The room froze. Her fiancé looked between me and her like he was watching a glitch in real life. Who is that?" he asked. And I looked him dead in the eye. "I'm Danielle Morris." Gasps everywhere. Murmurs ripping through the crowd. "Taylor?" She looked like she might pass out. And then, Officer number 1 stepped forward. Calm. Professional. "Taylor Mitchell, you're under arrest for multiple counts of identity theft, wire fraud, and credit card fraud." Pins could have dropped. Her mom gasped. Her dad sat down hard like the wind had been knocked out of him. Her friends? Dead silent. Because this wasn't messy. This wasn't loud. This wasn't revenge. This was justice. Delivered cold. Delivered publicly. Delivered perfectly. And me? I just stood there, watching her fantasy world crumble into dust. No yelling. No threats. Just proof. Paperwork. Law enforcement. And the truth. Right there in the middle of her dream wedding. Chaos. That's the only way to describe what happened next. 1 second Taylor was the star of the show. The next, she was in handcuffs. In a wedding dress. In front of everyone who thought they knew her. Her new husband? Frozen. Eyes wide. Staring at her like she was a stranger. Which honestly, she was. Everything about Taylor was fake. The venue. The dress. The registry. The life. Built on lies. Built on my name. Built on stolen credit and fake paperwork. The police read her rights calmly, like this was just another day at the office. Taylor? Not so calm. She kept stammering. "Wait. This is a misunderstanding. Danielle, please, we can talk about this." Talk. There was nothing left to say. Everything she ever wanted? Gone. Publicly. Legally. Exactly how it needed to happen. The guests? Stunned. Phones out. Whispers everywhere. Nobody could believe it. Some people gasped. Some shook their heads. Others looked straight at me like I was some avenging angel walking straight out of a Netflix drama. And honestly, I didn't mind the comparison. Brittany was there too, frozen pale, realizing that if Taylor went down, her name might not be far behind. That's what happens when you co-sign someone else's crimes. You get to sit in the splash zone when the ship sinks. And Taylor's ship was going down fast. As the officers led her toward the exit, Taylor turned back one last time. Eyes wide. Desperate. "Danielle. Please." And me. I just stood there. Perfectly calm. Perfectly still. Because sometimes the loudest statement you can make is silence. She wasn't owed forgiveness. She wasn't owed closure. She wasn't owed anything. All she was left with? Handcuffs. A record. And the memory of every single person she cared about. Watching her lose everything she stole. At her own wedding. In the dress she wore like armor. But armor doesn't help you when the truth comes walking through the door. Taylor's wedding didn't make it to the reception. There was no first dance. No cake cutting. No happily ever after send-off. There was just the sound of police cars pulling away. And a room full of people staring at the empty aisle like they just witnessed a car crash. Because they did. Taylor's entire fantasy life? Totaled. Brittany slipped out of that venue so fast it was almost impressive. Funny how the loudest people in the group chat go dead silent when real life shows up. The rest of the guests didn't even know what to do. A few people tried to approach me. Are you okay? Did that really happen? Is she really? I just smiled politely. Nodded. Kept it simple. Yeah, she stole my identity. She got caught. That's all there is to it. Because that was the truth. Clean. Sharp. Non-negotiable. In the weeks after, Taylor's story spread like wildfire. Nobody had sympathy. Not after seeing the receipts. Not after realizing she didn't just lie to me. She lied to everyone. Her fiancé? Filed for annulment before she even made bail. That fancy apartment? Gone. The Range Rover? Repossessed. Those ride-or-die friends? Blocked her faster than a spam call. Me? I got my credit restored. It took time. Work. Patience. But every fraudulent account? Closed. Every charge? Removed. My name? Mine again. Better than new. Because now, it came with a reputation. One that said, don't play with me. Not because I'll scream. Not because I'll get messy. But because I'll stay calm. Silent. Focused. And handle my business the right way. I didn't lose sleep over Taylor. Didn't stalk her socials. Didn't send her any parting messages. Her consequences were loud enough without me adding to them. All I did, went back to living my life. My real life. The one I built. The one I protected. The one nobody gets to steal again. People always say blood is thicker than water. But nobody ever talks about how easy it is for family to betray you. Taylor thought sharing DNA made me soft. Made me stupid. Made me safe to steal from. But I'm not soft. I'm smart. I'm patient. And I don't fight dirty. I fight quietly. Legally. Perfectly. She stole my name. My credit. My peace. Built a whole life pretending to be me. Until the real me showed up. Not screaming. Not begging. Just calm. Prepared. Unbothered. And standing there at the back of her wedding? Watching her in a white dress. Walking herself straight into handcuffs? Yeah, that was my closure. Taylor didn't just lose her wedding that day. She lost her future. Her freedom. Her little Instagram-perfect scam life. All gone. All because she forgot one very important thing. If you steal from someone smart enough to build their own life, be prepared for them to take it back. Publicly. Permanently. Without raising their voice. As for me, I didn't lose anything. I got my name back. My peace back. My life back. And every time I check my mail now, every time I swipe my card, every time I wake up in a house I paid for, I smile. Because this life, this credit, this name, is 100% mine. And Taylor? She can keep the memories. They're the only thing she has left.
Thanks so much for watching. If you love a good revenge story, or if you've ever dreamed of getting the last word without saying much at all, you're in the right place. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new savage ending. Because around here, karma always hits different.